Hello, Yat. It's really nice to see you here today. We are at the second day of Binance Blockchain Week here, and it's really going amazing. What do you want to say about this event and the beautiful community here?
First of all, the energy is great. I'm loving it. I think it's really been a great experience here. Looking at the sort of Binance Blockchain Week, how it's sort of bringing the community together here in Istanbul, and of course, Istanbul is a beautiful city. So it's you have the best of both.
Thanks. Whether the crypto market goes up or down, innovation and improvements for Web3 is growing non-stop. How do you see the point that we get at Web3? Where is the market going? Is it in a good way?
I'm very optimistic about the growth of what's happening in Web3. Mm-hmm. First of all, let's talk about Web3, why it's so important. I mean, it's important because it's the web of ownership. Mm-hmm. It's the first time that we as end users have the ability to own a stake in the networks that we help construct, which wasn't possible before. And so in that sense, the path of Web3, regardless of the ups and downs, is an inevitable one because we want to own a piece of the network. We want to be a member of this one. Every time we post a message on a message board, or every time we share a photo on Instagram, we're actually giving value to someone else.
Yeah.
It's time that we take value back to ourselves. And so this is why Web3 keeps growing. And of course, the other thing is because of the infrastructure, because of the capitalist framework, you have some volatility in the market, but that is actually the nature of basically all areas of growth.
All markets are the same.
All the markets are the same. So I would say, generally speaking, Web3 is a better future. And it's like the internet 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Animoca Brands and its sub-companies and your various investments to Web3 make you one of the most important players in Web3 actually. Can you inform us about your vision that makes you successful and what is the growth strategy of Animoca Brands? What awaits us in the future?
Well, I mean, first of all, we're still early, so, we wouldn't call ourselves successful yet. We still have a lot of things to grow.
I think you are.
Right? However, our point is that we're basically building out a future where everyone can have true digital property rights. That's our North Star. We're starting with gaming because we think, the 3 billion gamers in the world already believe they should own their virtual assets, even though they don't own anything yet. And so converting the billions of gamers into Web3 seems to be an easier task. Because at the end of the day, even virtual currency has some sort of analogies with things like tokens, for instance, right? And sort of your skins are kind of like NFTs, but not ones that you own yet. So we think of that as a natural pathway. But, for us, the mission is around digital property rights and basically Web3 broader adoption. And our focus has been in culture and entertainment. So we're not building an L1, L2, we're investing in them to support the growth. We're building on everything that relates to culture. And why do we focus on culture? Because we think culture is the most important thing to us as human beings.
Yeah.
We're
foundation, right?
Turkey. We're in Istanbul. Yeah. I mean, everything around this country, this beautiful city, is around culture. A tradition is culture, right?
Yeah.
A thing that you do as a lifestyle is culture. The clothes that you wear is culture, right? And so any economy that has strong culture has essentially a strong economy, and that's what we want to build in Web3. NFTs are these forms of digital culture, the way that you can store that culture. And, that's one of the things that we describe in sort of crypto terms. We say that culture is the deepest TVL of any economy. And that's why we focus on NFTs and culture.
We know that education is very important for you and for Animoca Brands.
Yes.
Why is it one of your first priorities?
Well, I mean, first of all, with Tiny Tab at Open Campus, which is a very important project for us, we think that it can really push sort of Web3 education, but also bring people in the world of education into Web3. Let's talk some numbers. The biggest learning platform in the world, people think that YouTube is entertainment. It's actually education. People go to YouTube to learn things, right? It's innate to our human nature. Gaming is a big industry, $200 billion a year, but education is $5 trillion right now, right? Because every person in the world does education, even if you don't think about it. So there's a lot of value. Teachers are content creators, but they're not actually given the same kind of rights. So we think that education is such a massive industry that actually, as a foundation, will really onboard people into Web3 as well. And that's why we're focused on it as a new frontier. When we did sort of Web3 gaming in 2017, 2018, most people were like, oh, gaming, yeah, we're not sure. Why would you play a blockchain game? NFTs were not popular in 2018, even up to 2020. And look today, right?
Yeah.
And we think the same will happen in education.
Thanks. Animoca Brands has a very good relationship with Saudi Arabia, and you just got new investments from their new city project. But it's not limited with that.
Yes.
You had also other collaborations with Saudi Arabia and also United Arab Emirates, right?
Yes.
With your sub-companies and Animoca Brands also.
Yes.
What do you want to say about your projects in this region, actually?
So first of all, I mean, it's very exciting. The MENA region is very excited about Web3. I mean, here we are in Turkey.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the energy around you, right?
Yeah.
But then also, you know, UAE and of course Saudi. Saudi to us is obviously the biggest economy in the Middle East. And bringing them into Web3 is actually very important.
Big step,
Yeah,
right?
it's a big step. And we're very proud to say that they've partnered with us to do that. But also, we have partnership with Mango Holdings, we have partnership with SCC, which is Saudi Telecom, we have partnership with various other entities in Saudi to help basically build a narrative. And also, they learn very fast. Last year, when we were going into Saudi, we had to educate them on Web3. They didn't know much about it. Yeah. And today, they're fully into it. So I think to me, this also shows something else, that the MENA region is actually a partner in Web3, right? I mean, if you look at the policies in Dubai, if you look at the community here in Istanbul, if you look at now what Saudi is doing, it's a great market to enter, but it's also a great support base that you have. A lot of people sometimes look at the West and say, oh, the Western narrative is the most important one. I would say that's not true. I think the narrative that you have in Asia, the narrative you have in the Middle East, actually these are more important and more meaningful for Web3. So, you know, I would encourage everyone to also look at Saudi as a market.
Nice. So, yeah, last question. In your opinion, what awaits us in 2024?
So, I think 2024 has a very interesting sort of runway in terms of where we're going with the Web3 and crypto broadly speaking. First of all, Bitcoin Spot ETF. I mean, it seems almost an inevitability that it's going to launch, right? So people are very excited about that. But also, now we've recently seen that, you know, for instance, there's a GameFi index that's now quoted on Bloomberg. That was something that, you know, wouldn't happen before. So it means that it's not just Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it's also other tokens and other metaverse tokens that are also basically going more into the mainstream, you know, meaning from a financial sense, from a financial inclusion sense, you're having broader awareness. And then, of course, more and more people are joining Web3. More wallets are being opened. More people are playing games. More people are sort of learning courses on TinyTap. All these numbers are going up. So 2024 to me is a very exciting year. And it's, you know, if you think about, we're almost at the end of 2023. You know, 1 year ago, Bitcoin was $20,000.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like, I think 36,000. Exactly,
yeah.
It's moving, right? Ethereum is over 1,900, for instance, and everything else is rising. And again, I'm not saying that it's just a token. I'm just saying it's a sentiment. It's how people feel,
culture.
right? It's a culture, right? Yeah. And that culture is emanating, and people are paying attention. And I think also, to me, the closing of a dark chapter, you know, with SPF, right?
Yeah.
That to me, you know, I think that's closed. And that to me was what people were talking about. And now that the judgment is done, I'm very hopeful that we can move on and really start focusing only on the building and the growth of Web3.
Yeah, thanks for your honest answers and for your time. I hope to see you in Istanbul again.
Yes, love to come here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.